जय परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत श्री श्रीमद् ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की ISKCON founder आचार्य BBT founder आचार्य His Divine Grace ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की आचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की समवेत भक्त वृंद की समवेत भक्त वृंद की समवेत भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग की गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Kindly chant in the same tone, same meter, in sync. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। So welcome to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class, which is also part of your Bhakti Vaibhav, which is going on. So in the morning, we will be, from the regular Bhagavatam, we will be discussing the Bhakti Vaibhav 6th canto, 10th chapter, which has started, right? Few verses have been discussed, but I'll go from beginning just to, cover chapter by chapter. And in the afternoon, we'll be again assembling to continue the discussion. And in the morning, again in the Bhagavatam class. So those who missed the afternoon can go through the recording. So before we begin, let us recite prayers and glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken by Srila Sanatana Goswami in his Krishna Lila Stava. No, okay, I'll have to go to the folder. Anyone knows the prayers? In glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken by Sanatana Goswami in his Krishna Lila Stava. Hmm? Yes, yes. These are very beautiful verses which we should recite. Mhm. Especially with Bhagavatam, yes. Mhm. So we'll recite this prayers and then begin the discussion. सर्वशास्त्र विपीयूष सर्ववेदैकसत्फल सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाढ्य सर्वलोकैकदिक्प्रद सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवतः प्रभो कलिद्वान्तोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तिता परमानन्दपाठाय प्रेमवर्ष अक्षराय ते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोऽस्तु मे मदेकबन्धो मत्सङ्गिन् मद्गुरो मन्महादन मद्निस्तारक मद्भाग्य मदानन्द नमोऽस्तु ते असाधु साधुता दायिन् अतीनीचोच्चता कर हानामुच्च कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्णा हृत्कण्ठयोः स्फुरः. I'll just read the translation for the first verse. Sarva Shastra Vipiyusha. O Srimad Bhagavatam, the nectar churned from the ocean of all the Vedic scriptures. Sarva Vedika Satphala, O prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas. Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya, O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions. Sarva Lokeka Dikprata, O you who grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world. So it's a very beautiful prayers by Srila Sanatana Goswami, who is our Acharya in studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Since we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, it's apt that we recite these verses. Now, before we begin our verse by verse discussion, and we'll recite one verse before we each of the verses will recite, I thought it is pertinent that we discuss the whole background from where we are beginning now, from the 10th chapter. In the 6th canto, the subject being discussed is Poshanam. Anugraha Tat Poshanam, as it is defined by Sukadeva Goswami. Anugraha means the Lord's mercy, that He protects His devotees. Even sometimes if they make mistakes, because they are following Dharma, even if they commit most abominable activity, still the Lord will protect. Poshanam. That's the mercy, Anugraha of the Lord, that He protects His devotee. So the flow within the Bhagavatam is that with in the third canto Brahma appearing from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Brahma doing his creation, which is at a you can say at a subtle level, you can say. The higher dimension level. He's manifesting the devas, Shiva, the Kumaras, all that. Then, through the combination of, he manifests Swayambhu Manu and Shatrupa. And through this, the whole population will be propagated. The whole progeny in this universe will manifest. So he is the first, what? Manu, who rules for the day of Brahma. There are 14 Manus. So Swayambhu's Manu's lineage is being discussed. So in one sense, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, what is Srimad Bhagavatam? The entire events which happen in one day of Brahma, from morning 6 to evening 6, in one day of Brahma, that is one day of Brahma. Sahasrayu Paryantam Tad Aha Brahmano Vidu. So in one day of Brahma, the first Manu, Swayambhu Manu, his lineage begins, the discussion begins in the third canto. And Devhuti, Akuti, Prasuti, the three daughters, and then Priyavrata and Tanapad. So Devahuti is first discussed in the third canto because in that lineage, Lord Kapil Dev appears. So the Kapil Shiksha is there in the third canto. Then further, Akuti and Prasuti are discussed. And in that context, the Lord who appeared as Dattatreya discussed to Atri Muni and Anusuya. And Prasuti had daughter Daksha, but there was some tension between Sati and, Shiva and Daksha, the father-in-law and son-in-law. So the Daksha pastime is discussed. And then Uttanaprad's lineage is given in the entire fourth canto. From Dhruva, then Anga, then Vena, Prithu. Prithu is an avatar, so Prithu pastime is quite elaborately discussed. And then Maharaj Prachinpari and his sons Prachetas. And Prachetas, they attained perfection by the Rudra Gita. They had the darshan of the Lord. And to Prachetas is born Daksha. But in the fifth canto, as he's discussing this lineage, he also gives the geography of the universe, cosmology. So practically from 19 to 26 chapter, the whole cosmology is discussed, and there is a description of the hellish planets. Now, after hearing this discussion of the hellish planets, Parikshit Maharaj, being a Vaishnava, his heart is flowing with compassion. And he asks the question, how people can be saved from hellish life. So here there is a detour. The lineage is being discussed, but the Bhagavatam flow is along with the genealogy, very important events which are specifically meant for God realization. Even those events are narrated because that's what the Bhagavatam focus is. So with respect to this question, how a person can be saved from sinful life, the glory of Bhakti Yoga is established that anyone who takes a name, even if the way is the most sinful, he can be saved. And the pastime of Ajamil. Pastime of Ajamil is discussed in 3 chapters in the 6th canto. So in one sense, in the 6th canto, Poshanam, how the Lord bestows his mercy to his devotees. The Ajamil pastime is discussed, and then there is Indra, and then there is Chitraketu. So all these 3 pastimes come here in the 6th canto. In that sense, if you see the genealogy flow which is happening in the Bhagavatam, it breaks up because of these discussion of pastime, because these are very important. And this is the most important aspect of the Srimad Bhagavatam, how the Lord protects his devotees, even sometimes if they commit mistakes or commit the most abominable activity. And here we see extreme examples. Now, Ajamil is a very sinful person, committing the most heinous sinful acts, but yet the Lord protects him because he takes the name, that to Sanket. And Indra is a mixed devotee, Mishra Bhakta. But of course, we should not consider like that. Because sometimes some Indra can be a pure devotee, like Upendra, sorry, Bali will become the next Indra. He's a pure devotee. Mixed devotee commits one after another heinous crimes, you know, but yet the Lord protects. But this we cannot take as a license also. Also, in that aspect, we should understand the Bhagavatam gives extreme examples in order to set a principle so that it drives deep in our consciousness. So we know the effects of Vaishnava Aparadha. There are 6 types of Vaishnava Aparadha. No? Hanti nindanti dveshti Vaishnavanam na binantati Vriddho Krudyate no harsham patanani shat. Hanti means to kill. Nindanti means to criticize. Hanti nindanti dveshti. Dveshti means to envy a Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam na binandanti. Not to respect or honor a Vaishnava when a Vaishnava is present. Krudyate. Krudyate means to become angry on a Vaishnava. And then no harsham. Not feeling pleased seeing a Vaishnava. So you can see in this 6th canto, Indra, Shri Jagannath Baldev Simha ki Jai. Indra, is enjoying the dance of the Apsaras in his heavenly planets, and he, uh, Indra is watching the the dance, and his spiritual master Brahaspati comes. And Indra, he's been seeing Brahaspati every day, and then he doesn't welcome him, doesn't respect him. Brahaspati in his consciousness understands this. In order to teach a lesson, he leaves the place. And then Indra recognizes that he has committed an offense. And then what happens? Because of that, the Devatas are bereft of a Rohit, priest. So then they go and ask Brahma. Brahma says, there is Vishwarup. You take the help of Vishwarup. He will become your priest. But mind that Vishwarup is connected both to the Devatas and the Danavas. So you should not mind his equal-mindedness. So they take Vishwarup and they, after being bereft of that, heavenly opulence because of offending Brahaspati, they are attacked by actually the demons. They lose their power. And that's when they go to Brahma. And then, with the help of Vishwarup, Vishwarup gives the Narayan Kavach, which is mentioned in the 6th canto, 8th chapter, and they regain their opulence. But then when Indra sees that Vishwarupa is also secretly offering oblations to the Danavas, the demons, he feels a sense of insecurity for his position. And he beheads Vishwarupa. Such a heinous sin. Hanti. Hanti means to kill. He kills a Brahmana. And then Toshta, his father. So in the flow of the genealogy, the first 3 chapters describe Ajamil, which is a pastime which happened in some other universe, as Prabhupada says. So there, 2 chapters discuss the genealogy also, further, Daksha's genealogy, and how Daksha's one daughter was given to Twashta and was connected to also Danava. So that's how Twashta's son, Vishwarupa, is both related to the Daityas as well as the what is it? Devatas and the Danavas, Suras and the Asuras. So when Indra beheads Vishwarupa, Twashta is angry and he wants to take revenge. He wants revenge now. So he performs a yajna, which is discussed in the previous chapters. And while offering the ahuti, instead of a son being born to kill Indra, because of the ucharan of the mantra, only in the what? In the what? Huh? Pronunciation. Hmm. Uddhata and dhata. Uddhata means high pitch and low pitch. Just because of that one mistake, what happens? Instead of son being born to kill Indra, the son will be killed by Indra. That happens. So Vritrasura is born. Vritrasura is born, and this is the Shastras explain the fault of karma kanda or karma. That when we perform karma, either if it's not performed perfectly, we get no result, or we can get opposite result. But bhakti, whether it is performed properly or improperly, mantra is chanted properly or improperly, but still it can give the result. Of course, one who is not having the knowledge of this Nama Tattva. Once you have the knowledge, then you cannot. So now Vritrasura is born and Indra is again fearful. And now they approach Vishnu. They approach Vishnu. What is the solution? Now Vishnu advises, that, go to Dadiji and ask his bones. Ask his bones means ask his life. Please die so that we can use your bones, so that we can kill the Vritrasura. And Vishnu says, don't worry. Vritrasura is my devotee. He will not harm you. Don't worry about it. So now, in this 10th chapter, the demigods are going to approach Dadichi. They're going to approach Dadichi now. Because this is what Vishnu told them. So demigods now approach Dadichi. Now, let's recite this verse. This is a very important verse from the Matsya Purana. Bhagavatam is recognized as a Purana where the pastime of Vritrasur is narrated. Oh, Bhagavatam is where Vritrasur. So Vritrasur, in one sense, this pastime of Vritrasur is the essence of Bhagavatam. And the four verses which are the prayers of Vritrasur, they are considered also as the essence of Bhagavatam. Now, especially as time is passing by within the society of devotees where Prabhupada has given the Bhagavatam, sometimes we have attraction to study other Puranas. Although Vyasdev in the second verse only he says what? Dharma projita kaitava paramo nirmatsaranam stam vedam vastavam vastu shivadam tapatrayan mulanam. That the vastavam vastu, the absolute reality, the paratattva, or the absolute truth, is only revealed in the Srimad Bhagavatam and not by studying any other Puranas. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva Pare Kimvad. What is the need of studying any other scripture? So in the other Puranas, the pastime of Vritrasura is discussed in detail, as it is also discussed in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And there are other pastimes also, like the Bali pastime is also discussed in the other Puranas, many other Puranas, especially the Sattvic. And there is the Vaman Purana, which is, discussing in detail the Vaman Deva Avatar. But in the other Puranas, the same pastime is happening, but the lens which one is seeing is through the lens of a dharma, artha, kama, or moksha. when you can say. Dharma, artha, kam, you can say. So the same pastime, same events seen from that lens looks like who is the real hero in this pastime of Indra and Vritrasura? Indra is the hero and Vritrasura is a villain. That is how we will come to the conclusion by reading these other Puranas. But only in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the heart of Vritrasura is revealed. How he is a pure devotee. It's only in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is revealed and not even in any other Puranas. So from the lens of the Srimad Bhagavatam, you can actually understand the pastime from a deeper perspective. It is the same pastime happened, but from a deeper perspective, we can see that it is actually who is the real hero? Vritrasura. So that is, going to come in the next 2, 3 chapters. So we'll be studying. So I'm just giving overview. Just like, in the Vrindavan pastimes, we have to see Vrindavan pastimes from the lens of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Rasa. Because Krishna is in his Madhurya feature. Madhurya means sweetness. There's no Aishwarya Bhav in Vrindavan, where anyone recognizes Krishna as Bhagavan. But Garg Muni knows, he does a Namkaran of Krishna. He knows who Krishna is. Krishna is Bhagavan. So there is the Garga Samhita, where Garg Muni is narrating the pastimes of Krishna, even in Vrindavan. But when Garg Muni is narrating these pastimes, he is seeing from the lens of what? Aishwarya, because he knows that. So we need to study the pastimes of Vrindavan from the lens of Sukadeva Goswami and from the lens of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. That is, Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, Vishwanath Chandra Thakur, who has given his commentary, Sanatana Goswami, like that. So similarly, from pure devotional aspect, we understand the heart of Vritrasura. So let us recite this verse. यत्राधिकृत गायत्रीं वर्णयते धर्म विस्तर वृत्रासुर्वदोपेतं तद्भागवतम् इष्यते लिखित्वा तच्च यो दद्याद्धेमसिंहा समन्वितम् प्रौष्णपद्यां पौर्णमास्यां स याति परमां गतिम् अष्टादशसहस्राणि पुराणं तत्परिकीर्तितम् So it was not right meter because I don't know. That Purana is known as Srimad Bhagavatam. Yatra Adhikritya, which delineates the path of ultimate truth, Dharma Vitsara. So this Purana, now Matsya Puran is glorifying Bhagavat Puran. Matsya Puran, the personality of Matsya Puran is glorifying Bhagavat Puran. That this Bhagavat Puran delineates the absolute truth. With reference to the Gayatri Mantra, Gayatrim Varnayat, and tells the killing of demon Mitra. So this Bhagavatam is recognized as a Puran. Where is the pastime of Vritrasura? There is a pastime of Vritrasura. And whoever writes a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam, now, we have to make a copy. We are now only printed books we go and distribute. That's okay. But here, Dadyat, copy of Srimad places on a golden lion throne. If you want to go back to Godhead, very simple process. You have to just buy a pure gold throne. Place on it the Srimad Bhagavatam. and give it dan on the Bhadra Purnima, which is going to come very soon. Very simple process. And one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples actually did it on a golden simhasana. The entire Srimad Bhagavatam he offered to the king of Malaysia. That is the criteria here given. So for us, even if we in Bhadra Purnima donate Bhagavatam, we have to study the Bhagavatam. Ema Simhasanam Samanvitam. And and that too, Praushtapadhyam. Somebody who has, you have to give it to somebody who has that adhikar, like a Raj Rishi. So like that, you have to choose the right adhikari. On the full moon day of Bhadra, August, September, will attain the supreme vision. That Purana has 18,000 verses. Ashtadasha Sahasrani Purana. So this is, that's why we need to study the pastime of Vritrasura from only the Bhagavad perspective. Just to impress upon that, I had to discuss this. Because sometimes, while narrating the Bhagavatam pastimes given by Srila Prabhupada, we try to do some nectar hunting. Let's go and see what more information is there in other Puranas about this, and we try to mix it. In Kali Yuga, one of the biggest problems is, you cannot accept something which is pure. The mind wants to do something mix and then, thinks that it will be more nectarian. Something which is natural and pure, you cannot accept it. This is the mind's tendency. So we have to stick to Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, and we should be convinced about it. That we need not look into any other Purans, because then absolute truth will not be revealed. It's only in the Srimad Bhagavatam the absolute truth will be revealed. So that's the brief background which we had to discuss before we begin the discussion. So here's the overview of the 6th canto 10th chapter, the battle between the demigods and Vritrasura. In the first 12 verses, there is a conversation between the demigods and the Muni. And then, after the Muni gives up his life, they use the bones, and Vishwakarma, gets the weapons done. Then the demigods attack the demons. So that is a very simple discussion, which will go in one flow, which will finish this afternoon. And then, seeing the power of the demigods, that the demons, all weapons are immediately easily destroyed by the demigods, the demons become fearful and they run for their lives. So Vritrasura chastises these fleeing demons. So within this pastime, Vritrasura gives 3 pravachans. One is to the demons, one is to the demigods, and one is to Indra. So in the whole battlefield, there are 3 pravachans of Vritrasura, which are highly instructive. Krishna gave only one instruction to Arjuna in the battle of Kurukshetra, but Vritrasura gives three lectures. So let's now begin and recite the first verse. श्रीभादरायणर्वाच इन्द्रमेव समादिश्य भगवान् विश्वभावना पश्यतामनिमेषाणाम् तत्रैवान्तरदत्य हरि. Somebody would like to recite?
श्रीपादरायणीर्वाच एवं समादिश्य
Sri Shukdev Goswami said, Sri Badarayani watched. Now, it's very interesting. Who is Badarayani? Shukdev Goswami. How? Vyasadeva is called as what? Vyasadeva is called as what? Badarayani. But Badarayani means Ba means son, like Dashrath and Dashrath. Dashrath means King Dashrath. Dashrath means the son of Dashrath. Now, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, especially when, Sukadeva Goswami is speaking, Sri Shuka Vacha is there. But whenever Sri Badarayani Vacha comes, then we have to hear attentively. So whenever Badarayani Vacha comes, that means Sukadeva Goswami is going to tell a very deep, confidential thing. Please hear attentively. That's what Badarayani. That's why he is addressed as Badarayani. All the time we should be attentive, but something very inner, hidden, confidential truths is going to speak. So that's why Sri Badarayane watch. The Supreme Lord, who is the cause of the cosmic manifestation. Bhagavan Hari Vishwa Avana. So the whole cosmic manifestation is maintained by Vishnu. And the demigods are managing the universal affairs of this universe. But now there is trouble because of the demon Vritrasura. Already first time they are defeated by the demons and they have regained it, but again they are feeling a threat. They are feeling this threat. So now Bhagwan Vishwa Bhavana. That's why, the Lord is addressed as what? Vishwa Bhavana. After instructing Indra, Indram evam samadhishya. So that is happening in the previous chapter. So what did the Lord instruct Indra? That you go, this trouble has come, you go to Dadichi and ask for his bones. And don't worry, he'll give. And what? You need not feel any threat from Vritrasura because he is my devotee. There's no threat, So this is the instruction he gives. After instructing Indra, Tatra eva antaradhe. The Lord disappeared. And as the Devatas watched, Pashyatam Nimeshanam. So the Devatas watched, and suddenly the Lord disappeared. Text 2. Okay, and there is commentary here by Vishnacharya Thakur. And can you set this, I think what you have to do, extend or something so that I can simultaneously show the Veda base, and how to do that, I don't know. How to come out of this. Over in this. No, it will not come.
Your screen is that only. You have just
No. Okay, if I tap.
you can select this. It doesn't come there.
No, but I want both to be displayed for both of us.
Oh, both are
That
there.
extend, extend or something you have to do.
This is a
Duplicate. Yes, duplicate. What is it? F7?
Windows P. Windows P.
Windows P. Extend, duplicate. Yeah. Yes, you are able to see now the database also, and now I have to go Alt and go to the slides. You are able to see slides. Yeah. So I have to only do Alt and Tab, right? The 10th chapter describes receiving the bones of Dadichi, making the thunderbolt, and the victory of the Devatas over the demons. This is like the entire overview what is coming in the 10th chapter. Okay. Text 2. तथाभियाचितो देवे ऋषिराथर्वणो महान् विन्दमान उवे वाचेदम् प्रसन्निव भारत. O King Parikshit, Bharata, on being requested by the Devtas, Tatha Abhi Yachito Devi, liberal Dadichi, Mahan is liberal. The son of Atharva, being pleased, Modamana, spoke as follows, Vachedam, while smiling, Prasanniva. Now you can just imagine the actual emotions happening when the Devtas come in front of the Deji and they ask, please give your bones. What is their feeling, the Devatas who are Kshatriyas, they give, dan to the Brahmanas, and they're asking this to Dadichi. And Dadichi, hearing this, now those who go for fundraising, give little donation, which is very dear to their heart and how they feel, because they're so attached. Now Dadichi has been asked, what give your life? And what is Dadichi's mood here? He is what? Smiling. Modamana. He is very pleased by this request. How many of us will be pleased if somebody, Prabhu, please give your life. We want it. you know. And he smiles. Modamana. And he speaks. And he speaks. So what he speaks, let's see. Though he was pleased and smiled, there was an indication that he would scold them by refusing the request. So this is what Vishwanath Thakur says. Now, actually, what are the emotions going on in the exchange going on between the Devatas and Dadichi is mentioned? Actually, externally, now, Dadichi internally was very happy to do this, and that's why he smiled. What is there in the heart, manifest in the smile, So he was very happy to do it. But, he was pleased and he smiled. But at the same time, just to have, some fun, he was ready to, okay, you want my body, take it, It would have happened immediately. But he wants to discuss with the Devatas about dharma. Dana dharma, what are the rules of a beggar and the donor, So he wants to discuss. Otherwise, there's no fun. So he wants to discuss. So externally, he will refuse their request. So that's what, he's going to speak now. Oh, Deva, who have come to ask this? Devas. The Devas have come for this request. And they have been sent by whom? Deva. That is Vishnu. So he's very happy. But Vishnu wants my body. Service. I'm ready to give him. Of course, in our Krishna conscious movement, you will never come across such a request given by anyone. Firstly. But if we can dedicate this one life completely in Prabhupada's mission for preaching Krishna consciousness, then we are going to be successful in our human mission. Because anyway, the body is going to be given to the dogs, hogs, or ants, or jackals, right? So we know that famous statement which Prabhupada made to His Holiness Bhakti. So now he's going to refuse his request, and there's a very beautiful discussion which is going to happen. Okay. Api vrindarakayuyam na janita sharirinam samstayam yastu apidro Chetanapaha. O Devatas, Vrinda Rakha. I don't know the meaning of Vrindaraka. Time is up, right? 9 o'clock, right? 9 o'clock, right? What time? Okay, we'll finish this verse. You do not know, yuyam api na janita. You do not know that at the time of death, samstayam, there is severe, unbearable pain. Dussaha abhidroha, which take away the consciousness of all living entity. Sharirinam chetana bhava. So now he's instructing you. You're asking my, body, but you don't know what is the unbearable pain. And because of the unbearable pain, it takes away the consciousness of all living entities. Now, one of Srila Prabhupada's disciple was explaining to me that in the 1975-76, he was in Bangalore, and then from Bangalore, he was preaching here. Few of the disciples of Prabhupada were the first who started preaching in Bangalore, and it is very nearby. It's just 5 minutes from here. They started their preaching here. No, none of you know about it. I'm sure. Okay, they came to a small place here, one place here nearby. Manu Maharaj was also there. So then he moved to Hyderabad, and in Hyderabad he was doing the kitchen service. And one of Prabhupada disciple, right from the fifth or the sixth floor, fell down, and his bones crushed when he fell down. And when he fell down, his body shut. You know what is when you get a shock and the shock is severe and the body cannot bear the pain, then the body, what it does? Shut down. Similarly, in electricity, the same principle is there. When there is a, high voltage and it cannot take, what happens? Fuse will burn off and the electricity will shut down. So this is what happens when death comes. The pain is so unbearable that it takes the consciousness away. And that time you have to become Krishna conscious. How difficult it is, right? How difficult it is. Now, I myself witnessed an incident that in my engineering college, I was coming back from the college on a two-wheeler, and just backside me, there was a tanker, truck tanker. And as I was driving, somebody from the other side two-wheeler came in and they hit this truck. And the side, that rod, guard rods are there, right? They hit there and both fell, and one of the persons went inside the truck, and in the tire, his leg got crushed. And I actually witnessed this incident with my eyes, And when I saw this, my goodness, his body shut down completely. So the pain is so unbearable that the consciousness goes away. Now, more pain than this, actually, what is happening? All is happening in the realm of the body, in matter, when this is happening. Like, I have this joint. Somebody, takes any instrument or something and he starts pulling it. That means he's trying to dislocate it. What will be the pain? Can you imagine? Try it out a little bit. What will be the pain? It will be unbearable. Unbearable pain. But actually, more than that will be the pain when the subtle body and the gross body are separated. Because at the time of death, what is happening? Subtle body and the gross body is being separated. But what we are speaking is what within the gross body, you are dislocating something. That pain itself is unbearable. But more than that, many, many times more than that, the pain will be when the subtle body will be dislocated from the gross body. And that's why some go in coma. at the time of death, because the pain is unbearable. So this is what he's instructing now. I think time is up. So we'll stop here. Any questions, any clarifications anyone has up till now what we have discussed? Okay. Yes. Vijay, Maharaj Vijay. Vijay, no? Vraj? Vraj Vijay Achyut Prabhuji, yes.
Especially now, what we discuss this now, with the chance to give up his body, the pain that he has to go through. We also see in the Vedic system, the Sati system, the wife also gets into the fire after the husband leaves. So how, like, the Vedic system allowed where voluntarily one could accept where the pain one has to go through.
Actually, no. In the sati system, the pain the wife goes through when entering the fire, actually, we don't understand the internal purport. That actually her fire of separation from her husband is so deeply burning in the heart that the external fire, it's completely insignificant compared to the fire of separation. And that fire, is unbearable. They can bear this fire. So that's why they can easily enter in that fire. Now, to have that fire of separation, you have to have that fire of love also, which is not found in this, Kali Yuga. That's why it's not recommended. In fact, this comes up in the pastime of Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur, when he took bath in that Padmavati river, and then, he got Krishna praying, and his whole body turned into golden form, and he was jumping and dancing high, Gauranga, 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 and his parents were searching, where is our son gone? And they came on this bank and they could not recognize it was their son because his color had changed. And after some time, he came back to external consciousness, and then they recognized, oh, it's our son. They were taking him back. And then he was feeling separation from Vrindavan. He was crying in deep separation. That fire of separation was so deep that he could not stay at home, and he left. And then they sent the soldiers to find him. And Narottam Das Thakur was just wandering like this, and no food, no water, nothing. For days together, he was just traveling, in this consciousness to reach Vrindavan, absolutely no consciousness of the body. At one point, these guards surrounded him. And that time, Narottam Das Thakur made a statement that just like, the wife who is very chaste, although the relatives hold on to her, they don't allow her, but still she breaks that, powerful shackles, because her fire of separation is so strong, that energy, that she's able to cut that, whoever are holding her, and she moves ahead in the fire. Similarly, my separation towards my Lord is like that. So don't come in between, he says. Hearing this, their hearts transform and they give up way, and he moves ahead. So that is the inner purport, that, when that fire of separation has to be there. Okay. Yes, Ruby. Last question.
Yes, so Rudy, you told about the lens of Dharma, Artha, Kama, lens of Biodivastals. So, what is this lens and how to distinguish it?
Lens is simple. You're wearing a specs, which is, having some number, right? Similarly, when you wear the specs of Dharma, Artha, Kama, then, like for a, Brahmana, the cow is worshipable because that is his level of consciousness. He sees cow as worshipable. But for a tiger, it is what? It's food. And for a layman who's driving the car, it is just an obstacle. Go away. So we perceive this world based on our consciousness. you know, Based on consciousness, we see. So similarly, those who are following dharma, artha, kama, parnasham, they will see this same event and pastime from that lens and not seen from the inner vision. That's the point. So that is why the Bhagavatam is presented from that inner vision based on our Acharya. So even though if we are not at that level of consciousness, we should, see from the Acharya's perspective. Shastra Chaksha. That's the point.
My mind likes to mix. Like I also observed that mind likes Mahabharata more. Like, so instead of Bhagavatam, just read some Mahabharata story also. So mixing it right. So why does it happen?
Because we are attracted to
Dharma.
our consciousness is attracted to that. So we study the Mahabharata, but you study the Srimad Bhagavatam, and from the Srimad Bhagavatam perspective, you see the Mahabharata. But if you independently study the Mahabharata, then you can get carried away. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the Nirnayaka Shastra, and all other Shastras are Nirnayatara Shastra. So we have to study other Shastras from the lens of Srimad Bhagavatam and come to conclusion. Otherwise, we will not come to the right conclusion. Okay? ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. But Bhagavatam is Amal Puran. Amal Puran.
If you look on here, this can just show you once.
Huh?
I'll just show you once. This one, if you do here, hide presenter view. Like now here, this also. Do hide presenter view.